Hello, my amazing people. I greet you according to your time. If it is your first time and you like what we are doing here, kindly subscribe, put on your notification bell to all notification. It's very, very important because it will enable you to know when we upload a new video. Here we react to all forms of videos, we educate, we inform the members of the public about what is happening. And to you, YouTube, I appreciate you for creating this wonderful platform that we are using to disseminate information. At the same time, I put a disclaimer that here in Linda's TV show, we do not promote violence, we do not promote hate speech, we do not promote misleading information. Rather, we are here to educate, inform the members of the public, and also to remind you too that a call for self-determination is never a call for war. Every country in the world have this.
Senators of One Nigeria and the presidency are enjoying the show because it has become a show that they use to praise themselves in office. I salute all Biafrans that have keyed in here to this short edition of this message to Biafrans and to the enemies of Biafra. Biafra Defense Forces is saddled with the responsibility of defending motherland. And that we will continue to do because it is the armed wing, the military wing, the defense wing of the Biafran people. There is a government, and that government is called the Biafran government in exile. We speak as a government. We don't speak as a group. We don't speak as organization. We don't speak as a body. We don't speak as a church. We don't speak as a function. No, we speak as a government. And that government is the Biafra Republic government in exile and the de facto government in the homeland, headed by the indomitable Prime Minister, the great finisher that has come to finish one Nigeria. Yes, he told them, I will be your end, and he has come to be their end. They kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and when they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they spent so much money, and then they addressed the entire Nigeria in fude to tell them that they have achieved what they had yearned for. They killed millions to make sure one Nigeria remain as one, all the way from 1966 to 70s. And since then, till date, they have implemented a systematic blockade and war on the Biafran people, both air, land, and sea, and even in the developmental sectors. In the developmental sectors, there have been blockade. That is why there has not been any development in Biafra land. Railways are not functioning in Biafra land. Refineries are not functioning in Biafra land. Roads are not useful. There is no company or industry that is providing jobs for the Biafran people. The only ways and means that Biafrans are getting jobs in Biafra land, it is their own way of self-employing, self-deploying of employment. The international airport in Akwa Ibom, in Cross River, in Anambra, in Enugu, and every part of Biafra land, and in Port Harcourt are supposed to be functional so that you can travel and come in internationally and go out with your cargo. It's not functional because they dismembered and disabled it so that all of you will run down to the central and continue to remain as slaves. That is part of the blockade of the development that has been done since 1970s to this very day. The seaport that we're working before, the Calabar seaport was working fully functional as at 2007 and 2009. But after a couple of years, since they brought Buhari into power, they shut it down. It was functional during Goodluck Jonathan. They shut it down when Buhari came in so that they would drive every traffic over to Abuja and Lagos and Kaduna so that we will continue to remain in the blockade of development. That is why today when we speak of Biafra, there are some people that will come up with this myopic mindset and this dissident attitude and questioning of, will Biafra come? Will it really come? Why? Because your brains have been bastardized for years. They have bastardized you and sectionalized you and emasculated you of development and inclusiveness in everything in the governmental sector of one Nigeria. So that is why when you now see the breeze of freedom of Biafra coming, you will be myopic to be asking, will it come? It is a systematic way that they have cajoled your mind into being for years, so that you will not even trust in yourself anymore. So that even when one Nigeria will be coming to kill you on a daily basis, you will still be hoping that they are your own salvation. No. But we understand all these things that they have done to our people. That is why we take it wire to go with our people, because the thing has to be sinking into their head. It is kind of liberation that needs to be done to the brains and minds of Biafran people. So we thank all Biafrans, and we are telling you that we have come to finish what our father started in the time of Ojukwu and Philip Effiong, Kaduna and Soko, and Obosi and the rest of them who fought and stood their ground to see that we have a name to fight for, to understand that there is dignity in fighting for Biafra and for us to restore it. You know, they said Simon Ekpa has become a threat, a bigger threat, and should not be ignored. It should be taken seriously. Yes, it's a very good tack. Should be taken seriously, because when you guys saw IPOB Nigeria, that have been working for Nigeria inside IPOB that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was working, you guys knew that Biafra would not go to anywhere. So they continue to plague Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, destroy all his efforts, and every step that he makes, they will be destroying it. Before he finishes a meeting, they have relayed it to One Nigeria. So One Nigeria will know how to anticipate the plans of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the emergence of Biafra. Even how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, it was well planned and carried out in conjunction with IPOB Nigerian members that were working with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And even after his kidnapping was successfully done, when they now tried to kill him over 10 days and they could not kill him, and then they said, oh, let us bring him to Nigeria. Like Buhari said we had the option of killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but we resorted to say, let us just kidnap him and bring him to Nigeria so that you will see the debris of him. So the plan was to kill him. Then at the end of the day, they tried, he woke up, they beat him for how many days, and then he passed out, and then he came back alive. They now say, okay, bring his debris. Let them see it in Nigeria. So when they brought him, you guys were jubilating. The Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, was addressing the entire world in Fude. He did not address the entire world in Igbo. He did not address the entire world in Ibibio. He did not address the entire world in Efik. He did not address the entire world in Igala. He did not address the entire world in Ikwere. He did not address the entire world in Kalabari. He did not address the entire world in Hausa. He did not address the entire world in Tifi. He did not address in Yoruba. He did not address in Urobo. Did not address in Ijaw. Did not address in Edo, Benin language. No. He addressed in Fude to tell you that it was mainly for the northern interests, for Biafra to be crushed and destroyed. The kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was well masterminded. So the message was delivered, and then they gave a brief and said, yes, we have kidnapped him successfully. We have brought him all the way from Kenya down to Nigeria. And then they were briefing the Fude people and then showing it to you and telling you, and then you were all jubilating, yes. As at that time, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not a threat, right? Was a prisoner of conscience. He was someone that has been kidnapped. The kidnappers were now the ones still displaying him on the video and on TV and making noise everywhere, and all of you were enjoying the show. Some of you said, yes, this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be kidnapped so that we'll go hear word for this Biafra thing. Some of you said, yes, now that they have kidnapped him. I remember Joe Ibokwe knelt down on the ground and said, thank God they have kidnapped him now. Now that they have kidnapped him, let us see. Now that they have cut off the head, let us see how the body now will be able to work without the head controlling everything. Because they had done it before in 2015. It was successful for them. All the IPOB Nigerian agents that were working for Nigeria inside IPOB, they now deserted and then went back to their normal businesses. Thereafter, in 2017, when Oyendo came back again, they now came back and gathered again to come and start from where they stopped, to continue to destroy the effort of Biafra. But you know what? Now you are all crying that Simon Ekpa has become a threat in 2024 and in 2023, and is worse than what you had expected and had seen from the IPOB in Nigeria for years. Yes, it must happen. But you know what? It has not really happened yet in full scale. When you will see the full scale of it is after the declaration of Biafra in 2nd December 2024. We want all of you to brazen up, key in, and watch everything that will happen. Because what you bargain for, you're going to pay. You know, in 1966 to 70s, the USSR, British, America, the Russians, the Arab nations, the OAU, and the evil rapist Islamic jihadist terrorists of one Nigeria, they aided and supervised the genocide of over 10 million of our babies, children, women, and men. And then Biafra stood as a nation and then fought over how many bodies that I have just called now. They fought the entire world with no supply of weapons from any other person coming in. Only from what they manufactured, fabricated on their own was what they used to defend Biafra land. And then they were winning the war. Until when Gowon started shouting that they have won us, so Britain said, oh, it is time we bring in the chopper. We put in the chopper, we will now be killing them from air, we will blockade them from land and sea. And starvation of food will not be an exception. With the starvation of food, the food aid that is supposed to come in from Côte d'Ivoire will not come in again. The one that is supposed to come in from Congo will not come in again. The one that is supposed to come in from other places that are giving us aid will not come in again. And today you are claiming that you win the war. If you won the war, why has there been checkpoints to blockade the Biafran people from 1970 till today? Because the war has not finished and you did not win the war. Biafran people have re-emerged again. And this time we come with fury. And the fury that has come is the one that will consume every element of destruction that is against the Biafran people.
Ekpa is looking like a bigger threat than what IPOB represents. And when I was reading about IPOB, I'm like, these people should realize that Simon Ekpa is asking the people to celebrate Biafra heroes from 29th to the 31st. IPOB only asked for one day. That's May 30, which is the day that over the years they had celebrated the Biafran heroes. But Simon Ekpa is saying no, it has to be from the 29th to the 31st. That is a threat on its own that we have to deal with. A map.
Now, Buhari told you people that he will speak to Biafrans in the language they will understand. And then all the Yoruba medias were rejoicing and enjoying. And they were so happy that Buhari said he will speak to Biafrans in the language they will understand. That they should remember how he killed them in 1966 to 70s to keep one Nigeria as one. You were all happy, as at that point, you did not remember that Simon Ekpa is a threat. You did not remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be kidnapped or was kidnapped before and will be kidnapped again. As at that time, you did not remember that Biafran people have been killed and massacred and slaughtered from even after the genocidal war of 1966 to 70s. From 70s down till date, the slaughter, the genocide, the massacre, the war, and the annihilation has continued and nothing has ended. Now, today, Is it Buhari that is speaking to Biafrans in the language they will understand? Or it is Simon Ekpa that is speaking to one Nigeria in the language they understand? The only person that has discovered the language that needs to be spoken to Nigerian government and they will understand is Simon Ekpa. That is why when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, did not make noise too much. He just went back and started playing his chess game to discover the king of the chess, so that they can be able to use the formula of the king of the chess to dissolve one Nigeria. Today, the entire Nigerian media that has refused to talk about Biafra for years are now the ones displaying the video of the Biafra Liberation Army, our fundraising, our faces, and our contributions and everything that we do about Biafra. You are helping us to do the highest awareness in Nigeria now. Anybody that is watching NTA television, Channels Television, Arise Television, TVC Television, AIT Television, any television that is useful in Nigeria, any television channels or media house that is useful in Nigeria, go and listen there. You will hear Simon Ekpa's name. You will hear Biafra Liberation Army name. They are very, very afraid to open their mouth and pronounce Biafra Liberation Army. I watched one from Arise Television where they display a video of Biafra Liberation Army. And then they saw the flag of Biafra Liberation Army, inscribed Biafra Liberation Army on the flag and on the banner that the army personnel were using. But do you know what they said? They said it is militant. Now, being daft and being silly and being wicked to your generation is when you see that ABCD is written on the signpost, and then you decide to pronounce the ABCD that you see as WXYZ, telling the people that what is written there is not ABCD, but the people can see with their eyes that it is ABCD, and you're telling them, no, it is WXYZ. Now ask me, who are you deceiving? When you do good propaganda, you do bad propaganda, it is working out for Biafra. Good or bad, it is working out for Biafra. Whatever publicity that you do, it is working out for Biafra. Doesn't matter the voice you use in saying it, whether you say it in the night or you say it at daytime, it all works for Biafra. So the cry will continue because Simon Ekpa has spoken to one Nigeria in the language they understand. Instead of one Nigeria now speaking in tune with what Buhari said, that he will speak to Biafrans in the language they understand, that they should go and remember how they slaughtered them in the genocidal war of 66 to 70s. Now the reverse is the case, and the message is penetrating. If you have not voted, go and cast your vote. Now stay clear from checkpoint because Biafra Liberation Army are on duty. You don't know when and where the checkpoint that you are very close to will be, where Biafra Liberation Army will have to be on duty. So the message to all Biafrans is, stay very clear from every checkpoint. This we have said time without number, and we will continue to re-echo it and to reiterate it, that all Biafrans, they should not take anything for granted. Now, if you listen to this very video here, you will get to understand something from this very video. This very video here that is coming to the screen.
Security post in Aba killing 5 soldiers and 6 civilians during a shootout. Your thoughts?
I think it was one of the most.
You is explained as I repeated and repeated and repeated it. I allowed it to roll and roll and roll so you will understand something. They were propagating the notion that 5 soldiers were killed, right? They did not tell you how many unarmed youth that they killed that did not attack them. And when you listen to this video now, you can be able to hear the confession coming out. We are not the ones saying it all. They are the ones confessing with their mouth. There's one thing they need to understand, that this is not IPOB Nigeria. This is not the organization that has existed for years with no structure as a government. Now we have the structure of a government of Biafra. And everything we do is done as a government. No Biafran killed will his blood go without revenge. So if you think that you can kill Biafrans in Biafransl and go just like that, no, you will pay dearly for it. That is why every checkpoint in Biafra land needs to be dismembered. And we continue to call on Biafrans to stay away from checkpoints, stay away from barracks, stay away from civil defense unit, stay away from the government secretariat, both state and federal. You need to adhere to all these instructions, because the Biafra Liberation Army resistance fighters must engage the enemies of Biafra that are in Biafra land to kill our women and children. Yes. What the Fulani terrorists have not been able to do anymore, after we have engaged them and expunged them out of Biafra land, is what you now see that the Nigerian army and all their terrorists in uniforms are doing. You hardly hear that Fulani terrorists ravage communities in Biafra land, because when MNK was kidnapped, the ESN that is formed, that they wanted to give amnesty and scrapped with the help of the IPOB Nigeria, Simon Ekpa stood his ground to make sure they were not scrapped. And we laid the foundation of defending Biafra land. And that ESN now was later dissolved into the Biafra Liberation Army. And what we have now as a government is the Biafra Liberation Army, a constitutionalized government, a legalized army that has the sovereign legality to protect motherland and to defend our territory against the aggressors and the assailants and the oppressors that comes in to kill their women and children. Do you know why, if you continue to cry from now till next year, United Nations will not come to your aid? Do you know why, if you continue to cry from now till next year without defending yourself, and America and UK will not come to your aid? Do you know why all these criminal international communities will not come to your aid? They will not come to your aid because you have your constitutional right to exercise self-defense. That is what you are supposed to do. And what the Prime Minister have done is to implement that act of self-defense for the Biafran people, by the Biafran people, and to the Biafran people. And we stand against every terror that will come against the Biafran people, because what we are exercising is self-defense. UN will not come to your aid in any way. You can continue to cry and wail and yearn while they come to cut heads of children, babies, women, and men. The best you can do is to activate self-defense. That is why, since the genocide of 66 to 70s of one Nigeria on the Biafran people happened, which the USSR had supervised. The USSR had been a body that is supposed to mitigate and solve issues and bring peace amongst nations that are in conflict. But you know what? The USSR were actually the people that were supplying weapons of mass destruction to one Nigeria for them to use to kill the indigenous people of Biafra that were defending their existence. And today you can see that the United Nations are part and parcel of the terrorists that took part in the slaughter and kidnap and genocide of October 7 in Israel in 2023. What does that tell you? You don't need to wait for United Nations to come to your aid. That is why the momentum and the firepower that the Prime Minister has activated needs to continue and increase. We will continue to maintain this self-defense until Biafra is restored, and we are not looking at anybody's face. We are not waiting for anybody to come to our aid because they will not do it. You have to defend yourselves, continue sustaining the momentum, let the defense mechanism continue, let the world understand that you are defending and standing your ground to see that your people are not butchered on a daily basis. You don't need to wait for EU, you don't need to wait for UK or UN or OAU to come. No. Do what you have to do to survive first. Because all the people that have been massacred in the far north for years, nobody does anything about it. The UN does not give a damn about it. The Nigerian government do not give a damn about it. After all, their sole interest is not to see your survivor. It is to see the natural resources that are embedded in your soil extracted for their own monetary purposes. While their families are all living in Dubai, America, UK, Europe, and Asia and Australia, your own depleted conditions are nothing to them. So you, having a savior of your own time, having a finisher of your own time, who is ready to sacrifice all he has to see that the Biafran people are safe and defended, and Biafra independence is restored, you have every reason to give all your support. So don't sit on the fence. Come down from the fence, partake in every contributions in your countries, know where your Biafra license offices and admins are in your countries, go and contribute your quota. Go and know how to apply for your ID card. Visit the Biafra Security Administration website. That is where you can apply for your ID card. But before you go and apply for your ID card, as a Biafran that is living in diaspora, go and support Biafra liberation. Go and make your donations and have numbers of receipt in your hand so that you know that you have supported your liberation. Don't rush to go and get the ID card because they say there is ID card. Oh, before the ID card portal need to be open, do you know that they had to work on the database for it to come up? Did they pick the money on the floor? Or was it America that dashed them the money? Was it UK that dashed them the money? No. It is money from your fellow brothers and sisters that have been contributing their sweat to make sure there is something on the table. If not, all of you that are in America and UK and Europe and Asia and Australia, by now, your communities would have been overrun. If not the firepower and the sustenance and the formidability and the momentum of the Biafran government in exile, with Biafrans that have been supporting from the beginning of time to this very day since MNK was kidnapped. When you heard the Prime Minister say that significantly, Biafrans that have supported this liberation since MNK was kidnapped in 2021, that they have special preference, you may not understand. Do you know why you may not understand and what you don't understand there? Because a time in need is a time that you know a true friend. All of you that were shouting, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another savior all the way from 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. When he was kidnapped, when you are supposed to stand your ground determine and focus on the next steps to take. Move on with the train which he has already set in pace. Carry on with his legacy and footsteps to see that Biafra is restored. He did not just leave you unaligned, but he aligned you all and said everybody should go and listen to Simon Ekpa. And then he confirmed him as his second in command and said, take charge from here. All of you heard it. Instead of all of you to listen to the instruction that he gave, some of you decided to go and say, let me go for one Nigeria. They gave you obedience. You say, oh, obedient is the option. Let us go for obedient first. Let us go and see that obedient become president. Obedient will now come and bring Biafra. Obedient will now come and bring Nnamdi Kanu out. When I look at some of you, that even in IPOB meeting, people were arguing that they should abandon Nnamdi Kanu, go for obedient first. When obedient come and, well, let him go and try and become president. Now, this is the only chance that Igbo man has to become president. When he become president, that we will renegotiate Biafra. He will now bring Nnamdi Kanu out, then he will now give us Biafra. You look at them, you ask the question. So people that have stood their ground when MNK was kidnapped, that did not abandon Biafra and then go for Obi, stood their ground, kept on putting their dime, their penny, supporting left, right, center to this very day. They are special people because they stood their ground in time of need. In time that it was tempest, that is when they stood very well. And they were determined and able to keep focus and continue going. A lot of you were on the fence, shouting and attacking the same government of Biafra. Today, you are back to join us, and then when you come, you want to come and be the angel and the saint that is more holier than every other person that have been standing their ground when you were attacking and destroying what we were doing before. You're welcome, but be very, very careful. Because if you're not careful, it's very easy to kick off a ball that is inside the ship, that its own aim and objective is not to contribute to the growth of the ship, but to see the sinking tendency of the ship. I salute all Biafrans. Go and support Biafra liberation, because without money, the Biafra Liberation Army will not achieve nothing. Yes, Simon Ekpa will continue to be the bigger threat and the big threat to all of you. But for us to make everything happen and for our Prime Minister to win all that we have put on the table, we need more funds and can be defended. Continue voting. We are in the second phase of the voting now, and you can see the joy in Biafrans. Voting spiraling everywhere in the net. If the momentum of the voting is not well felt in your communities, relax, continue to do your own quota until the firepower engulf that place so much. The radio and satellite will be splitted and will be available in all parts of Biafra land in no time. Now, if you said you did not hear the radio, you did not hear our voices or the voice of the Prime Minister from your radio in your community, it is time you put your ear down now, because you're going to start hearing. And then when you hear, you act on what is said on the radio. The only way out for you is Biafra. The only voice that is speaking, that is authentic, is the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. This man that you see that is standing behind me here. So he's the only one that is standing now since they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he's the Prime Minister. And get this straight, that whatever we are doing, we are not doing it because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tell us. We are not doing anything that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is instructing us. Everything that we are doing now, we are doing it on our own. So don't think that you will use anything we are doing now against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu inside detention. A man in chains cannot be the one to be giving us instructions on what to do. We are fighting to see him released, not him fighting inside detention to release us and to free us as Biafrans. No, he has fought his own good fight of faith, and he has transferred the mantle to us as Biafrans. It is high time that we exercise and to utilize the wisdom and understanding and the lesson that we have learned from him for years while he was out here. Now he is in prison. When the disciples of Jesus Christ were arrested and locked up in prison during the apostolic days, what happened? Did the church membership go down? Did they all run away? No. They continued in the evangelism. I'm now talking in line with your Bible ethics. So, when I go to say, I know they read Bible. I read Bible. I read and pass on myself. I know the story of the Bible. So they did not run away. They put some of the key preachers in prison, and the rest of them now continued the gospel. And the gospel continued to spread. And while John was in the detention, John still sent a message and said, go and tell them to continue in preaching. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sent a message at that time and said, continue the momentum of Biafra. He said, I stand for Biafra referendum. And he's still telling you today now that he stands for Biafra referendum. So, what are you supposed to do? What you're supposed to do is for you to go and increase your firepower and your momentum in every ramifications. Yes, go and do it, because that is what will give him joy wherever he is. And together, we restore Biafra. I thank you all. Stay tuned and key into every announcement from the Prime Minister.
Thank you so much for sticking to this video to the end. Like I said before, now it's time for us to go to the comment section to air our mind and our opinion. Say what you think about this video and this platform. Do it constructively. Share this video, like, subscribe, and also continue to watch Linda's TV show, because this is the home of news. Until I see you again in my next video, remain blessed. For now, I would say bye-bye.